Today on a special AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On, we seen her kick butt in the ring, and tonight she's going to try to kick my butt in the studio. Gabi Castrovinci is here.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
And let the Botchamania begin, because I already messed up her name. Gabi Castrovinci.
Yes, you did.
I apologize, because she is a fitness model, wrestler, entrepreneur, superwoman. At Raquel TNA. I'm Christian Rosenberg at Rosenberg. I'm not at Raquel TNA. Gabi Castrovinci. Your name is so difficult to pronounce.
Right, I should change that sometime.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And I apologize right off the bat for making this a swinging start for the interview.
That's right.
So you've been hanging out on the West Coast. You did a lot of wine tasting just now, taking a fun West Coast trip.
Yes, we have been visiting a bunch of wineries, which is I'm a huge fan of wine, and this was like, honestly, it was on my bucket list. I'm so glad we did it. It was great.
Awesome. Yes, I mean, so what is it? Is it just like the relaxation of the wine, or is it you just prefer wine over beer and stuff? Like, why the wine tasting? A lot of people, wine tasting seems to be more and more popular these days.
Right. Honestly, I don't like beer for a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it has a lot of carbs in a beer.
Sure.
Wine is not so bad, but I like the way it makes me mellow. It's just like sipping in a tea, like it's more sociable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love the taste of the wine, depending on the wine, obviously.
Sure. Like red, white, what do you prefer?
I like red. I like Pinot. And white, I like Chardonnay.
Okay.
Those are my favorites.
For me, like, I know nothing about wine. Some I like, some I don't. Like, for beginners, what do you think would be, like, good advice of what to look for in a good wine?
For beginners,
Yeah.
what do you like?
I think I lean more towards the red myself.
Okay.
But I couldn't tell you if I prefer Merlot, Pinot, any of that.
Yeah, I would go with Pinot Noir because it's really light.
Okay.
It's nothing so strong. It's a good choice, I think, for like dinners and stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, that's all I had for you. Just wanted to talk about wine. That's it.
Okay,
No.
where's the wine?
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it. Let's drink some.
Well, because obviously, you mentioned the beer with the carbs because you are obviously a fitness model. Mm-hmm. Now, when did you move out here from Brazil?
Oh, God. I think right now has been 14 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
Were you modeling in Brazil before you came out here?
I did some photos, some modeling, but main focus in Brazil is to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, my parents are very strict of going to school. Like, this is just crazy. But we knew that I had something with modeling, but they never really let me pursue that career in Brazil.
Gotcha. So that's what made you decide to come and move out to the States?
No, I wish.
Oh, so what brought you what made you decide to move to America then?
So my father was already here in America.
Okay.
My mother had left to go to Portugal to help my father pay for my college education. It's really expensive in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like here that you can take a student loan and stuff like that. It's totally the opposite way.
Sure.
So I was in Brazil by myself, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. I'm the only child. My mom was always there with me. And my dad gave me like an option. Hey, do you want to come here and hang out for a few months, or I don't know, see what happens? And I stayed here.
You just kind of stuck.
Until now.
So then while you were out here, how were you discovered for the fitness modeling then? Did you get an agent? Did just someone happen to see you do something?
Yeah, it's funny because I cleaned houses for many, many years.
Okay.
And one of the ladies I cleaned her house, she was a bodybuilder. She had tons of trophies in her house, which is, I hated cleaning that thing because I was like afraid of breaking it. And her name was Mrs. Ford, Mary Ford. She was like always giving me advices because she would see me eating like a granola bar, which is bad. She's like, no, Gabby, you should eat this and this and that. I was like, oh, thank you. But I never had the time to work out because I used to clean 7 houses in a day. So by the time I got home, I just wanted to go to sleep. So I would eat like crap between the houses, like things that I just could, eat and drive at the same time. But that was the biggest inspiration for me to start doing bodybuilding, fitness later on.
That's actually like an incredible story. So you came out here, you were essentially a house cleaner.
Yeah.
And one of your clients kind of catapulted you into the life of the fitness, and and then from there you went modeling.
Yeah, and the funniest thing, my first my first competition that I did, I didn't have any contact with her for probably 3 years.
Okay.
And she was the judge. She was one of the judges on my first competition. She didn't even recognize me.
That's crazy.
That was crazy, right?
Were you still cleaning her house at the time?
Oh no, I was done. I was done for probably 3 years at that time.
Oh, okay.
Cleaning her house, yeah.
And then you're just like full-fledged modeling, and then there she is.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, wow, you were my biggest inspiration.
Now, did she give you a good score?
I don't know, because obviously they were not going to tell. I did not place, to be honest with you. I just decided.
Oh, come on.
No, it was like the first competition. I didn't know what I was doing, and that was just the start.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So while you're making the transition, because I know, we're going to get to the whole Tough Enough thing momentarily, but in Brazil, while you were living there and getting ready to move, was wrestling popular there at all at the time?
No. First of all, I don't even think right now wrestling is like a normal cable or TV here. So in order to have wrestling, you have to pay for it. And honestly, my country is really tight with money. And I didn't really know about wrestling until I moved to America, because it's not that exposed. I'm sure it will be popular if they just have an open channel that you don't have to pay for.
Sure. Because we got a few questions from some of your fans over Twitter that they wanted me to ask you. One of them was from @LittleMissYumi. She wants to know, what do we need to do to get wrestling more mainstream in Brazil? Like, what would you say?
I would just think if it's possible. I know they have to buy the shows in order to broadcast and stuff. If it was like a Sunday morning and on an open channel, and when I say open, which is you don't have to pay for, that would be popular. Like, kids love wrestling, and Sunday morning, that would be great. But the fact that you have to pay for the channel, that's tough.
Do you know how much it is to pay for it out there? It's not like a WWE Network $9.99 thing or anything like that?
Well, actually, yeah, I don't know. They should try that. That's
right?
You know what, guys? Please sign up for WWE Network. Let's make this more popular. Sign up for Hulu. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. Hulu. You get.
How much is Hulu? $4?
I mean, they have, I think, different packages, but they probably start at like $5-6.
That's how I watch most of the wrestling, through Hulu. Yeah.
So, speaking of WWE, obviously, there was Tough Enough. You got discovered from that through your modeling. So you weren't necessarily training for wrestling prior to getting on.
No.
Which most of the competitors we tend to, at least this last season that you were on, there was only maybe a couple of them that had the wrestling background.
I think it was just Patrick.
Patrick and Chelsea.
Chelsea, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, what was that interaction like? You're doing all your fitness stuff. Does someone just approach you at the gym and be like, "Hey, I think you'd be great for a wrestling show"?
How did it happen now? Jesus, it's been so long. Okay, so I did multiple fitness competitions, and I became a WBFF pro.
Okay.
So somehow they found us through WBFF. So, and then select a bunch of us. And other guys that I don't think he made to Tough Enough. I don't know, probably 5 or 7 people from WBFF. That's pretty much how it happened. It was like a phone call. He said, "Hey, what's your schedule? Are you planning on competing right now?" I was like, "Not really. Do you want to apply for this?" And I was like, "I don't know." My husband and I, we started looking at the previous shows. Like, I don't know. Until like last minute we did it. So
what was the moment like? Was there a certain clip, or what made you decide at the last minute, okay, let's give this a shot?
Oh, I think it was, let me think about it. I think it was over on MTV. That's what we're watching, and they're like riding this girl's butt so hard. What the hell is her name? Ariana.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
yes.
I was like, poor girl. If I go there, I'm just gonna freaking blow out and just say to these people whatever I'm thinking, because this is just wrong. I was like, I can be a good character on this show.
So by how they treated Ariana,
yeah,
that made you decide, you know what? This will be good for me, so I can like stand up for myself.
Yeah, like show my personality.
Okay. To have that interaction with Steve Austin like she did on that show. So you go to Tough Enough, like we were saying, no wrestling experience.
No, 0.
What do you feel was the best lesson and the worst lesson that you got during your time as far as like the training there at the Performance Center?
Okay, so we didn't have much of wrestling training.
Right.
That's what made me mad. Because when I signed up for the show, I'm thinking I'm gonna get in the show and become a professional wrestler. But when I got there, things were different. But I think one of the toughest thing it was a tryout. It was, I think, few days of tryout, extremely hard. The cardio was so intense. I never done anything like it. I haven't done still. And that was the hardest thing, I believe, so far.
Okay.
In wrestling.
What do you feel was the easiest thing for you? Like, what came the most natural?
I don't know, just being able to be myself. Like, like, you know, not like, I don't like when I'm around people and being concerned what I can say, what I cannot say. So, and that's one of the things that it happens in wrestling. But I don't know. I can't really answer that question.
Okay. Gotcha. So you have your experience in Tough Enough. Eventually, you do get eliminated. However, when the season wraps up, several of the Tough Enough contestants get signed.
And several doesn't.
And several don't. You, unfortunately, were one of them that did not. Why do you think that was?
I have no idea. It's something that I don't know. I don't know why Chelsea didn't get signed. We don't know why Tanner didn't get signed. I just believe it's not. It didn't meant to be at that moment. They were not looking for people that looked like us, and that's probably the reason right now. But I also believe in law of attraction. I don't know if you know anything about The Secret.
A little bit.
So, and at that point in my life, I did not want to be signed. You know what I'm saying? That was nothing. It wasn't something that you wanted. So I believe that's probably one of the reasons that the opportunity didn't come through.
Yeah, and I mean, and there were rumors that were circulating at the time that saying, oh, because of something in your past prevented you or things like that. Is there any truth to any of that at all?
Absolutely not. It's probably something. It was something I started throughout the show, and let's say perhaps if I did have something in my past I could be ashamed of, I think they cannot pick and choose because of people's past. Because that's discrimination, don't you think?
Yeah.
Why they're gonna say, oh, I'm not gonna hire Patrick because he's black. That's discrimination. I'm not gonna hire Gabby because she has an accent. You know, they probably didn't have a chance for us at that moment. I mean, a spot for us. That's what I meant to say.
Right. So you think that type of thing had something to do with it as far as the accents or? No,
not at all. I'm just saying what I meant to say is they didn't have an opportunity for us at that moment.
Gotcha.
It has nothing to do of rumors of the past, which is this started during the show between other contestants starting the rumor, blah blah blah, which is they like to talk about others and they don't talk about themselves, which is that's whatever. But that's fine. I don't care.
But so with it, and there's this really interesting thing, at least I find very interesting with Tough Enough as far as the people who were on the show. Anyone who tends to win the show, with the exception of John Morrison, Johnny Mundo, and Lucha Underground, they don't seem to have much of any success in the WWE, or they'll get released before they're even seen. Like the season where Ariana was on, the guy who won it was released before anyone saw him. Your season,
I don't even know who won that season.
I think his name was Andy. I don't even remember at this point.
Right, I think that's it.
And then your season, so the winners were Josh and Sarah Lee. Sarah Lee recently left because she's now expecting a baby. Josh, I don't even know if he's still there.
I don't believe so. But it's funny because it was never on the dirt sheets.
Right, like you never heard about it?
I bet I'm around the area. I know a lot.
Yeah,
and
you hang out in Orlando a lot.
Yeah, and he actually lived in the same building that I live right now.
Oh.
So, but I don't think he's around anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, and then you have like ZZ was signed and released. Mata was signed and left.
Yeah.
Daria and Amanda are still there. We see little glimpses of them now and then. They're bringing their way up. Daria, former AfterBuzz host as well. Why do you think so many people from Tough Enough that get these opportunities somehow then don't take advantage of it, or it's not what they thought, or whatever it may be?
I don't think it's so much of that. I think it doesn't really depends on me to become a good wrestler. It does.
Right.
But let's say I believe on the wrestling business, it's if they're going to spend time with you. or let's push Gabi, let's push Amanda, or Daria. You know what I'm saying? It depends on their opinion. It's whatever they want to do with you.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how it comes down to it.
Gotcha.
If they have plans for you, great.
Yeah. That's always a good thing, right?
Right.
Another Twitter question at Sock Monkey Mike.
How was that?
That's his Twitter handle. I don't know. He wants to know if you think Tough Enough should return. Like, do you feel after your season and the aftermath from it with all the competitors, do you feel it's worth bringing it back again?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because if they're going to make another Tough Enough, let's really scout people that has been in the business, that's willing and they want to have this opportunity to become a WWE superstar, right? Why would you bring someone like me? Just because it was a model and I look good, right? I would be scouting people that wants to become the wrestler, that's already a wrestler that needs that opportunity to showcase. So if I'm gonna run a Tough Enough, I'm gonna get people that have been in the indie wrestling business, and it's not gonna be about swimming with alligators challenge. No, because people really want to see what goes on inside the wrestling business. Let's get these people to train. Let's polish them. Let's see if they have what it takes. You know, I agree with the tryout, which is absolutely insane. That's how they break people. I will definitely start with that. I'm sorry.
You're just breaking stuff.
That's what I do for a living. Yeah, I'll definitely start with that and like make a show that people are like competing for a real spot in WWE as a wrestler, not to become one.
Right.
That'd be different.
Well, and then when it was all said and done, you did something that I honestly I really commend, and I got a whole lot more respect for you from it, because there are a lot of people from these shows that, again, maybe didn't have much or any wrestling training on it. They're on the show. If they get eliminated, oh, all right, that's it, moving on with my life. But like you or Daria or Amanda, you guys, you kept going, and then you started training with Alpha the Wild Samoan.
The day after my elimination.
The day after, like, you're like, no, I'm gonna keep going, and I commend you for that, because a lot of people would have been pissed and angry. And I remember I spoke with you on the phone the day after your elimination, and that's when you said like, yeah, I'm gonna start like, you know, training here and like get ready, and it was just like, wow, that I was not expecting that. That's really cool. So what was it like going from the performance center, which everyone calls, like, you know, like the epitome of where you can train with all the equipment and everything, to, you know, a very good, you know, training place with like a very well-known trainer, but a standard facility? Right.
Well, let me think. We visited a bunch of places, and it came down to Alpha. I think it was because the location, rather than, you know, because another location was really far from Orlando, and I wanted to establish myself in Orlando. So we go there. It might have not even been the day after. I think it was on Thursday. I don't know. I forget now. But it was soon after my elimination. We go there and was like, wow, it's just in a garage.
Yep.
Garage without AC. Small little ring. Tons of posters of The Rock, which is, I really idolize him.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what made me sign with Alpha.
All the posters of The Rock.
Yeah. My husband knows that, so it's okay. So it was different. Yeah, I mean, but I'm down for. Come on, you know, I came here as an immigrant. I've done so many things to survive that this is not going to kill me. This is just part of life. Something that I want to add to my path.
Gotcha. And so with it, so have you ever met The Rock? Now that you bring up like all the poster stuff, have you ever gotten a chance to meet him?
No, like, you know, Tessa Blanchard and Thea Trinidad, they're like, oh yeah, we'll get you there eventually. It's like, I've been so close, but so far.
You're just like, there he is. He's in the same room.
No.
Well, you know, you're training with, you know, his family. You know, everyone calls the Samoan heritage in wrestling, how deep it runs through that side of the family, through the Wild Samoans, through The Rock, through Roman Reigns, through the Usos, through Yokozuna, through you name it. They're all in there. What type of training did you feel you were experiencing there that you felt really outshined what you were getting when you did have the training at the performance center? Was it just like more like just like down to earth type deal because of the venue and all that?
Yes or no. They have like these kids that often not so much. He couldn't really train us, but he would sit in his office and tell what to do and stuff like that. It was not that. I'm always going to have that reality show stigma.
Right.
When you walk into a place like that, I was like, what the hell is she doing here? But I paid my dues in there. I paid a lot of money to go to that school. It was about $5,000, and I learned the basics, how to run the ropes and how to take bumps. But I really mowed myself after I left his school. Like it was just the beginning and like beginner stuff.
Yeah, and you talk about like the reality star stuff. I mean, so do you look after things that the Miz has done, for example? Because he was big reality star, and when he started getting into wrestling, everyone's just like, no, you're not part of this. You're just some reality star. And obviously he's worked his way through it. Do you feel you're in that right now?
No, not at all. I mean, yes or no. I'm earning my respect as I go, working with different professionals and stuff like that. But no, yes, he's a great example. Him, who else? Jesse Goddard's, right?
Yeah.
He's a great example too.
Right. Yeah, from Big Brother. So let's talk about the controversy that was around you while you were while you're training with Alpha. You did a wrestling show,
right?
That afterwards TMZ covered, Bleacher Report covered, because there were some wrestlers in that match that worked a little harder than they should have, and you got like a fractured jaw and you had bruises all over you.
Yeah.
I mean, what was going through your mind? I mean, because obviously you're new in the business. You have the situation. You do have that reality star spotlight on you, and then these independent wrestlers just go in for their own and do something that, quite bluntly, is completely unprofessional. So like, how'd you go about it? Like, how did it get to TMZ and all that? Was it
okay? So the show was in Miami. We live in Orlando, like I said.
Yep.
So we drove to Miami and back to Orlando. We didn't stay there. So at the moment, I was so freaking pissed.
Sure.
That I didn't feel much of anything. I was mad, but I'm very professional. I'm not. If I have a problem with anybody, we're not gonna resolve this in the ring. It's gonna be outside with a conversation. I'm not gonna throw a punch or anything. So we drove back home, and I'm freaking sore. I'm like feeling like crap. And the next day I wake up, I was like covered in bruises. So I was like taking Snapchat. I was like, oh wow, wrestling isn't fake. Someone screenshot it and wrote an article about it. I don't know, I forgot now. Gabi Castrovinci had a match, and the girls worked hard on her, blah blah blah, and then they had a little footage. Someone was in the crowd, recorded and tweeted about it. Something got to this guy's hands, to this blogger. Next thing, I get a phone call from TMZ, and I had just left. I was like training or something, not wrestling because I was all hurt. I think I went to the gym or something. I don't remember. And then I got home and got a phone call, and it turned into FaceTime.
Right.
And I was pissed. I let it out. I was like, I believe they attacked me because I have just done my first set of tapings with TNA, and I was scheduled to win the #1 contender and the title the following week. And they've been with Alpha for a few years, and that's probably what motivates them to do such a thing. But I passed that, and I learned from it, and it made me a stronger person. Meaning, if someone hits me, I'm gonna hit it harder.
Right. Yeah, because the video of the match, like it's on YouTube. Like, it's able to be found. You could tell towards the end of the match where this seems to start happening. All of a sudden, you see like this energy and adrenaline kind of pick up in that match. And at the end of the match, you see, because you can see you like talking with the ref. I can kind of see like, something's wrong.
I was showing my teeth. Right. Like I was freaking in half. I was so mad because there was one thing I love about myself is my teeth. And I was like, I can't believe this bitch just broke my teeth.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah, and then like we see you after when you do a quick celebration, you immediately go to the back.
I just go, yeah.
Did you speak with anyone after that, or did you just take off from there?
No, I did talk to Alpha. I was like, well, this is what happened, and he did have a meeting between our three of us, and they pretty much said, no, I didn't mean to hurt you, and they said, well, you're not tough enough to be in the match, and I was like, pretty much, I left, and
the women said that?
Yeah,
or Alpha said that?
No, the girls.
Okay.
I don't even know like if they still wrestling or not.
I was gonna ask you like when was the last time you?
For example, that was my first match, I believe. Mm-hmm. And let's say I would never do that. I would never take advantage of anything new in a company or older in a company. I'll never do such a thing, because that's just brutal.
Right.
But I don't even think if they wrestling, I don't even think they have more than 10 matches in their career after, up to that point. And that was my first match. I probably had 10.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Have you ever seen them at all since then?
I saw a girl that was part of it, but she didn't wrestle because her knee was hurting her or something like that. During the Shine show, but I gave it a handshake even though I didn't want to.
Yep.
I was respectful, but I don't think I would step in the ring with anybody that did that to me.
What about the relationship with Alpha after that?
I haven't talked to him.
You haven't talked to him since that day?
No.
Wow.
I have not.
Because like, do you feel, obviously, they might have gone in on their own merit, like the girls, I'm saying,
right? Because two of the girls date their nephews or son, whatever the case might be. Obviously, the family speaks louder.
Sure. And
no, it's fine. I appreciate the time that I spent at his school. It was great. I don't think it was a waste of money at all. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot of the basics, and it built a good foundation for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you talk about how, then you went on from there to train elsewhere and start wrestling at Shine. Mm-hmm. You're actually currently one half of the tag champs over there with Santana,
right? And I forgot
right?
my title at home.
That was the one reason I wanted you here. I wanted to see the title.
It's beautiful.
It looks really nice. Like on your Twitter photo, you have the title on.
It's beautiful, yeah. And I forgot that and something else home that I wanted to bring here. So I was like, damn it, I'm not going to go back because here in California, there's a lot of traffic. I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of traffic here.
So, after Alpha, I was just researching. I was like, they have to have another school around here because I can't stop. I was ready to sign with TNA, and I was lucky enough they didn't even do a tryout when I was in Pennsylvania with them.
With TNA was doing a tryout? Or no?
They didn't ask me to have a match or anything. I was like, thank God, because at this point it really, really sucked.
Gotcha.
So I started researching, and one of the guys that did a few shows for Alpha had photos with girls and stuff like that, and I contacted him. His name is Mark. I was like, Mark, what's up with the school? He's like, oh yeah, he has a bunch of girls. The name of the trainer is Chasen. Bunch of girls in there. You should go check it out. Called Chasen. I was like, listen, I'm looking for private lessons. I need to polish, blah, blah, blah. So I went for my first class with him, and Santana was there, and Renee Michelle.
Yes.
So it was cool. I was like, I loved it, and I kept going, and I was going like 3 times a week. And Santana was part of my training, like for the most part, she was there, but she travels a lot.
Sure.
So she was there with the trainer, and I picked up a lot of the body language and things that should.
Yeah, well, we have a clip here from a Shine show where you actually wrestled Santana.
Yeah.
So we'll take a quick look at this clip here.
Let's see.
So now, was this before or after you started teaming with her?
That's before.
That's
what led us to the tag team.
Okay.
But we had this match. We call it student versus trainer.
Yeah. And
we team up afterwards.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. So if we can roll the clip from this match, because we can definitely see the improvement of the training that like we've seen. I mean, so it was right there. The vicious hammerlock. No, but I mean, Santana's an incredible athlete.
Mm-hmm. She's amazing, and I'm so glad that I got to meet her and train with her.
In the main event that night, she eliminated Kelly Skater. Nice roll up there for an infall counter for 1 count only.
But as you can tell, we know each other too much.
Right,
so.
like you're saying the teacher-student stories there.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can definitely tell it's the type of thing where, okay, we're starting to see the improvements in your ring work, just in the ring
Right.
presence,
I think
just to walking around the ring. you
That
know?
was one of the best matches I ever had because we know each other so much.
Right.
So we were able to. She was able to carry me in the match. Like right now, I feel comfortable enough to actually have a match with someone that has less experience than me.
Because of this.
Yeah, because of her and the training at Team Vision Dojo. I also trained with Jesus. You know him very well.
Ricardo Rodriguez. Yeah,
Yep.
good long friend of mine.
So yeah, we
Yeah, I mean, just like the agility there. I mean, now how much from like the fitness training do you credit for things like that, or was that just you didn't even know you could do those type of things until you started the wrestling?
absolutely right. But I think the in-ring cardio, it's really important. If I wasn't a fit person, I don't think I could do this.
Right.
This is hardcore. When we finished this match, it took me a while to recover because it was a very tactical match.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Right.
We worked so hard in this match.
Yeah. I'm always fascinated by like moves like that, like
Yeah.
like just the balance that people and I've seen you in like some Impact matches. You've attempted moves similar to that also.
Yeah. I love lucha, so that's one of the things I like to do.
Awesome.
So I have a lot of moves that it came from lucha, from learning from Jesus and stuff.
Yeah, so obviously people can see this type of match online through Shine Wrestling and all that. So
And more.
and lots more. So you go through, you work with Santana as in the singles match, and then you develop into the tag team. What do you feel has been the biggest learning experience working in a tag team as opposed to working singles?
It's so different.
Sure.
It's so different. I learned a lot in a tag team when I worked with Jesse and Robbie at TNA. I was their manager, and just watching that's how I learned about tag teams. It was like so much info.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I actually rather singles match rather than tag teams. I know it's an easier pay because you don't have to work the whole time.
Sure.
But I like singles matches better.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about Impact Wrestling and TNA now, because then you get signed with them. Who created the name Raquel?
I believe it was Dixie. I think it was Dixie.
Dixie gave you the name?
Yeah.
Now, why do you feel they decided they wanted to change name instead of keep you as Gabi?
I have no idea, but I actually like Gabi, and I'm going to start a new gimmick. We talked about the other day. It's going to be Gabriela Rio.
Oh.
Because I'm from Brazil. So
Okay.
I'm going to change my name again, and I have no idea about why Raquel. It doesn't fit me.
Gotcha. Cause so you started there as kind of like the guru to the bromans.
No, sorry.
Oh well, you start with Lashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck was that? I don't know. I started Lashley. And then something happened. Like, for example, the person supposed to work with me walked out last minute, and then they lost the chemistry of the storyline, and they just dropped it.
Who was the person? Do you know, or can you share?
I'm bad with names.
Okay.
I don't remember his name.
Okay. Well, so they dropped that, and then you went with the bromans.
Right, and then they finally found something I could do because Jesse and Robbie, they're fit people.
Yep.
And they said, "Wow, you can fit right in." I was like, "Great," but again, didn't have any chemistry going forward. We had tons of ideas, but I don't think they took time to work with us in that tag team.
And talking about the bringing in, but there is a story or rumor that the knockouts kind of kicked you out of the locker room.
Oh, that's true.
That is true.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So how did that happen?
That was my first time ever going to a wrestling event like this. We're tough enough. We went to Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
But we're instructed to not go bother anybody. Don't even say hi or handshake. No, we're gonna get out of the bus, and they're gonna put us in the room like this, full of TVs, and we're gonna watch the show. When it's time to go out, we go out. Okay. So going there, I'm a very shy person. People don't think so, but I am.
I wouldn't consider you shy at all.
So I'm very shy, and I got there the day after the first day they were there. So I don't know, like it was Tuesday. Let's say I got there on Wednesday. in the midday, and I have to get there and do something, tape something. And I'm super nervous, never done this before. I walk in, the lady that took care of the girls came up to me, "Hey, Gabby, nice to meet you. We need to do this and this and this and that." I was like, "Great." So I went to get changed, and I didn't say hi to anybody. And that's a huge no in wrestling. You have to go around and say hi to everybody. Everyone's hands.
Yep.
And I didn't know that either. Nobody taught me that at Alpha. I was Alpha at that point.
Right.
So I'm like, why is it people like talking like this? Like, I didn't know. So they did an intervention, brought me to a room, and they said, "Listen, you are welcome back when you earn the respect." And I still I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So mind you, English is my third language, and I still not getting it.
Sure.
So luckily Chelsea was there for a tryout. I was like, "Chelsea, what the f- is going on
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
I don't understand." She's like, "Oh, Gabby, you have to do this and this and that." I was like, "Okay." 2 days later, now I understand what's going on. And I finished the set of tapings, and I was not welcome back to the locker room until a bunch of people left, and I met them back in Orlando in April of last year, and then things were better.
Then things were better. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't blame them, but honestly, if an explanation would have been better, "Hey, Gabby, that's how it works in wrestling. I know it just started. That's how I would do with someone new."
oh yeah, they're crazy stories, and I've seen people get reamed or people take like a stiff shot of them in the ring if they didn't go around and greet everyone at the beginning, or even if people were, if they didn't know who you were. Like one time I worked a PWG show out here back when I was reffing years ago, and that was the first time I ever met Loki. So Loki's going around doing the handshakes with everyone. He has no idea who I am. So I stand up, shake his hand, and I swear he broke my hand with his handshake, because I guess I don't know if he people he might not know or might have thought, because I wasn't in my ref gear yet or anything. He might just thought it was some fan who would VIP
creeper.
access or some or some creeper. I get that a lot. It's cool, especially from the women. It's weird, but I shook my hand, and I was just trying to keep eye contact and smile. Just oh my God, let go of my hand. Because there's so many ways people can take, and then there are the classic the old school guys where they barely lift their hand up to shake it, they barely make any type of grip.
No, I don't like that. I like a good grip.
The firm, respectful handshake.
Yeah.
So you have this issue with the knockouts, and you continue even though we see the improvement like we saw in the Shine clip. We see that improvements are happening in the ring, improvements are happening with the persona. But you do continually get criticized by fans. Why do you think that? I mean, it's almost. I would almost kind of compare the criticism to some stuff with Eva Marie, for example. But I mean, visibly we see you doing more things than her as far as the physical wrestling training. So why do you feel what do you feel there's this constant criticism of you?
Well, like I said before, came out of a reality show.
Right.
I was going to be under a microscope, but honestly, their criticism to me means shit. Sorry, I don't know if it is a PG show.
Spotlights can kind of roll with whatever.
Okay, so it doesn't mean anything, because honestly, they're not in the ring with me. They're not with my daily routine. They don't know what goes on in my mind and my life.
Sure.
So I don't care. You can talk anything you want. Great, if you talk great things, I'm gonna like and retweet it and say thank you. Yeah. I live my life built in positivity.
And that's a good way to do it, because I mean, as long as people are talking about you, period, you're being talked about.
Yeah, I've been remembered. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people who thoroughly, enjoy interviews that I do, or there's some people that each week there's someone who might leave a comment or a tweet who's it's oh, there you go again, Christian. Well, you're watching it every week, so I got no problem with this.
Right.
It's if people are silent, that's when it's a problem.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Yeah, so.
But back to Eva Marie, I don't know why people shit on her so much. The fact that she didn't get the trainer, it's not her fault, right? WWE has to provide her training.
Sure.
Bring her like they did before to the Performance Center, but man, she's an amazing businesswoman. People should admire that. She does not only have wrestling as an income, she has other things, and that's great. That's being smart, like what I do. I'm an entrepreneur.
Right.
I don't depend only on wrestling, which is I can. Right now I call wrestling as a hobby. Like my clothing line is a hobby because that's not my main income.
Yeah.
My main job, my real job, I'm an insurance broker. That's what I do for a living.
That's the day job.
Yeah, that's my job. So the rest right now is just,
Do any of your clients know that you do this on the side? Like any of your like clients, like you're an insurance broker?
Yeah, I'm sure because now, especially because of my hair, but we work from home.
Right.
Like I don't get to see a lot of people.
Oh,
It's
okay.
over the phone. I take care of the Brazilian and Spanish community, so that's my job. So, but I'm sure they do know.
Yeah, like I always find like stuff in like Rick Steiner, legendary Rick Steiner. He's a realtor now. You know, like
That's good. You know.
Yeah, these like people that have these other jobs to earn their money while they work on their craft, while you work on your clothing line, while you work on your wrestling.
If I don't have that job, I'm sure I could not pay for my training because training is not cheap.
Oh no, it's not at all.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, and like with the other stuff, I know we said the clothing line. What's the name of the clothing line?
Well, I changed. That's really good you asked me because clothing line was named Marina Morena Fitness.
Okay.
Okay. Morena is my middle name. I'm sorry. Marina is my middle name.
Okay.
My grandmother's name. That's why I decided to name. Morena means dark skin, like me,
Yep.
like someone with my skin color. But Americans could never memorize the name.
Got it.
So I never wanted to name after me because of I think is people that has huge egos usually do that.
Sure.
And I'm not that kind of person. But thinking of marketing, something that people can link to it. So let's think of names. My husband and I sat down one day. Yeah. Okay, let's do Gabi Fitwear.
Okay.
That's easy enough.
Easy to wear.
Gabi Fitwear.
Yeah. Very cool.
How can you forget that?
No, that's the easy name to
So
remember.
immediately we called the website thing when we changed the name, linked the sites together, and someone designed my new logo and stuff within like 48 hours. We did it.
Nice. And then you also, you still do, some of the modeling, and you work with,
that's true.
And you work with, what is the protein like? Because I see you promote some protein stuff a lot.
Right. I work with 5% Nutrition. It's owned by Rich Piana. Someone that has a lot of controversy as well. With his lifestyle and stuff like that. Amazing products. I usually don't endorse anything, but when they actually are in Tampa, I went there, I met with them, and I got to try the products and their meals. Because my husband is my manager, so
Sure.
I went back home and talked to my husband and said, yeah, it's a good product. It's not something that it's gonna sound fake. It's extremely, like for me, endorsing a product like that. I like it, and my posts are organic. I appreciate the products, and I think it's one of the best ones in the market right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where can people find that?
5%nutrition.com.
Okay. And that kind of leads us into, what the future kind of holds for you, because back in January this past year, so a few months ago, your contract ended with Impact Wrestling.
Right.
So was it just a mutual parting ways, or how did that?
Yeah. What happened was. January comes around, I got an email, taping in December. Tapings will be such and such a day. It's okay. January comes around, nobody really reached out to me to renew my contract. Obviously, the company is going through a lot of changes.
A few little changes have been happening there, yeah.
And I am glad, that's great. I think the product could be a lot better. They have great superstars, a great setup. I enjoy watching a lot of people wrestling. It's not only about wrestling. You need to have character as well.
Sure. They
need to have other things but just matches, and it's great. I am very glad what I've been seeing on TV lately, and when the time comes, we can definitely talk about it. And that gave me a great opportunity to work on myself.
Yeah, and now
develop a character.
And you're traveling more for some shows. You're out here this weekend. You're working a wrestling show out here.
I have a show Saturday.
Yep, AWS.
Yes, exactly.
Bart Kavitsky, a longtime promoter out here.
Yeah, and I think it starts at 7:30. Please come see me. I'm sure you guys are not going to regret. I'm going to be selling T-shirts, photos, and you have T-shirts as well, right?
I do at ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. Look at you giving me the plug. Love that. Love that.
So yeah, it's going to be great. If you live here in LA, please come by, and it's going to be a great show. Great talent. Taya Valkyrie is going to be there too from Lucha Underground. Melissa Santos.
Yep.
Is there too, and other wrestlers.
Yeah. And that kind of leads me. There was one more Twitter question here.
Okay.
It was from Yuri Del Rey. She wants to know, what are your ultimate goals in pro wrestling? Because we have the reality show experience. We've been on Impact. We're now, we're working with Shine. You got gold around your waist now in Shine. You're obviously getting better. You're improving. What is the ultimate goal for you?
Well, the goal is obviously to improve. I know I'm going to be a great wrestler. I'm not happy what I am right now because I think that you always have to improve. If you stay the same, it's boring, right?
Right.
So right now, I think within another year, my wrestling skills are going to be better. Obviously, confidence is built with practice. So I'll be obviously more confident. And at the moment, I hold 3 titles. That's not so shabby.
What are the other? I know you're the Shine Tag Champ with Santana. So
Right.
what else do you got?
Okay, I told you I'm bad with names. Championship for Conquer Pro Wrestling and Orlando Women's, some sort of the...
Got it. All right. You're women's champion there.
in Orlando and
Yep.
Conquer Pro Wrestling and tag team champions with Santana Garrett the Shine, yeah.
Awesome.
So my goal is it's probably to get another 5.
Another 5 titles?
Yeah, at
And
the
just
same
walk
time.
out there just completely covered in golden
gold.
titles.
Right.
Love it.
They mean a lot.
Well, we're gonna get ready to wrap this up, but this was really great. Finally meet. I mean, we've been talking over Twitter
Finally.
for like 2 years now.
Right.
So it's great to actually meet you in person. You're still on Twitter at Raquel TNA. Are you thinking of changing the Twitter handle?
Yes, but here's the thing. I don't know the password to my account. So
That's a problem.
I have to reset my password. You can only do that in a computer.
Yep.
And you can only change the handle. I will do that. I'm thinking of Gabi Rio. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this new gimmick name.
I think the name suits you.
Gabriela Rio. I don't know.
I mean, I think the name honestly suits you. Obviously, you have the Rio from Brazil. And now, for example, Alberto Del Rio is not in WWE anymore, so he goes by Alberto El Patron. So now, the Rio last name.
I never even thought about him.
Well, the Rio last name is more available, but it suits you better because.
From Rio.
From Rio.
Right.
So I think the name could work. You go by Gabriela Rio. People could call you Gabi for short. But you could be like, no, it's Gabriela.
Right. Yeah. When I work as a heel, I like working as a heel because it's
being
pretty
so
much
much fun.
Yeah, it's my personality. But I love being a baby face. I love flippy moves and stuff. It's hard, man. But thank you so much for following me for this past 2 years, and I'm glad we finally got to meet.
Yes.
And do a follow up after. Tough enough and things that has been going on with my life, and I'm very happy to be here right now. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So plug your Twitter, your Instagram,
right.
all your entrepreneur things, because you've got a lot of goodies. So go plug yourself.
I actually have one more thing coming up.
Oh yes.
We are partners now with Family Business. We're launching our first energy drink. It's going to be called Java Kick.
Java Kick.
So we're going to launch this product on a Kickstart program. So if you guys can visit the website Kickstart, right? Kickstarter.com, something like that.
Yeah.
I will be plugging in my social media, talking about more, so there's more directions to this. And there you guys gonna find if you guys purchase whatever X amount of energy drink, you guys can get prizes, photos, workout with me, meeting with me. So it's going to be really, really cool.
That'd be cool to win a workout with you, being with all your experience. You learn a lot from that.
I'm going to kick your butt if you buy that.
I could see that happening. You just kick someone's butt in the
package.
gym.
Also, my clothing line is GabiFitwear.com. What else? Twitter, still at Raquel TNA.
The Instagram, you're all over Instagram.
My Instagram, it's Gabi Castrovinci. I need to change that too. This name is so hard to freaking.
I had trouble pronouncing it at the beginning of the show.
Right. So I would change. I'm not gonna take my husband's last name public like that because people be researching our life.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good in wrestling to have a wrestling character name.
Right. Gimmick thing. But so far so good. I'm happy. Like I said, maybe we go for Gabriela Rio. See.
Yeah, I mean, I like the name. So yeah, people can follow you at Raquel TNA or on Instagram at Gabi.Castrovinci.
Right.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, and yes. I also have I also have a website that you can find photos. You can order personal videos from me, T-shirts. You can just visit. It's GabiCastrovinci.com. You guys are going to have fun because there's a lot of sexy photos there, too.
Oh, well, there
then
you go.
You can actually buy it.
Oh, well, there you are.
Autograph for you.
And, of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Rosenberg, Instagram, the Rosenberg, and the T-shirts like Gabby so kindly plugged for me.
Can you please tweet a link so I can retweet it or just text me so I can
Absolutely.
Put in my...
the ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. And for, of course, all your other AfterBuzz TV news and gossip, you can follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Gabby, thank you so much for being here. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next time on AfterBuzz TV's Spotlight On.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Buzz you later, guys.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.